Right, hello my friends. This is a first impressions of Genshin Impact, well, more of current impressions because I've got a review in the works. I'm just waiting for them to release like the new area because what I've currently done in the game is basically complete most things. Yesterday I went up a world rank, so all the enemies are a lot tougher, and I thought it'd be a good time to show off the game and just talk about it because you know, with this whole Samurai Warriors 5 news, it's a bit depressing. So it's obviously an action-adventure game, free to play, so you can get this game, you know, for free. Although it's got gacha mechanics, so you use wishes or real-life money to convert into one of the game's, you know, 50 different currencies, and you get characters that way. I'll briefly talk about that in a minute. However, yeah, this game is... I'm quite in love with it, although it's kind of hard to say that because I have nearly all the characters. I have spent like a fair bit of money on this game to get most of the characters and sort of decent weapons, but I'll show off a fair bit of it. There's a few things I need to do. So there's like daily requests and stuff you can do each day. One of the things is sending the characters off to explore to get materials and, you know, level them up and your weapons as well as like their attacks, which I can't really say I'm a fan of, like having all those different systems. I can get over having the characters level up and the weapons, but the having to level up your attacks is kind of like dumb. So this is the Adventurers Guild. You get a bunch of features here, some of which I can't show off because I've already completed what's available in the game so far, which is kind of disappointing because you used to get some decent rewards. They were like little challenges you could do. I think it's part of what the game calls the Adventurer's Handbook. So yeah, that's sending the characters off to collect minerals and materials for me, which you need. So you can get them to collect ores, which you use to upgrade your weapons, which at the end means very little. Which one haven't I upgraded? So although I sort of walked past him earlier, there's a blacksmith in the game which you can buy weapons from, and he'll convert ores for you from... He'll give you weapon refinement materials or weapon upgrade materials made from ore. You don't actually have to go there to upgrade your weapons. You can do it whenever, as long as you have these materials, which are like these little gems, or you can use other weapons to do so, which is, you know, fair enough. Although, depending on like the rarity of the material, so like this, a 2-star one, at the point I am with some of the weapons, it's not even enough to get up one level. So that's kind of disappointing. So let's do some exploring. So this character here is Amber. This is actually the first like non-protagonist character you get in the game. You get her for free. There's another 2 characters called Kaya and Lisa that you can get for free in like the tutorial part of the game. I should mention this whole area here, Mondstadt. This is actually like the prologue, or yeah, I think that's what you want to call it. Yeah, this whole area here, which is absolutely mental. It's a massive area. This bit here was added a couple of months ago. It's got a kind of cool mechanic where... I can't think of the word. Basically, it's got a thing called sheer cold. When you go on an adventure, it fills up a gauge at the bottom, and if it fills up too much, you get your character starts to take damage from the cold. Sorry, my nose is like really stuffy today for some reason. Oh, it said there was a girl around here somewhere. Oh, there she is. I literally walked past her and she's like, now it's telling me where this clown is. Yeah, so sometimes when you're exploring you get requests like this it's usually from Dr. Livingstone, or I can't remember the other character's name. Sometimes you don't really see them. I was planning to deliver it myself. Yes, this character always tells you to go and deliver something else to another character, which is nearly always here. At this statue, we will actually get onto some combat in a minute. So, yeah, these things here are called Statues of the Seven. There's a whole bunch of them in both areas of the game. Well, there's only one in that Dragonspire place. But in Mondstadt there's like 5 or 6. And in the other place, Liyue, there's about 7, I think. And once you discover one of those, it reveals the map to you when there's like a fog before you go and uncover all those, which is kind of derpy. Right, I'll do a commission to show off what it's like. Yeah, one thing about this game is it's free to play, but it's online only. So if you've got a bad internet connection, it's not really for you. That was one of the things that kind of put me off, because my PS4 like really messes up with the internet. But it seems to have been not too bad lately. Right, I just need to change one of my characters. So I'll show off the characters you get now. There's the ones in orange are 5-star characters. The game calls them, which are significantly better than the other ones, which are just 4-star characters. Some of them I've leveled up and some of them I haven't, because I'm not really a fan of like their looks. I think that's one of the things that's really drawing about this game, is that the character designs are like absolutely on point.
Something's come up?
Oh no, I didn't want to change her. I want Jean. Yeah, this is my favourite character, Jean. I mean, like look at that character design, those tight
Let's finish this quickly.
Pants, if you're American. Yeah, those two are both 5-star ones. Although it is possible to complete the game with 4-star characters. They're not exactly bad, but you'll have a more difficult time. Well, I wouldn't really say difficult. I wouldn't say this game is like difficult in any way. So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of weapon in this game. Most of them are shared, which I can kind of understand. The combat is mainly focused around like doing different elemental attacks. Like the basic attacks for some characters are shared, so you know, rather ironic me going about clones in Warriors games, but here you don't actually mind, because this game is free, and it's more about, like I said, the elemental damage you can inflict with the characters. You get 4 at any time. I mean, you have to pick 1 to obviously progress through the game, but usually picking 4 and making a team and using their different elemental abilities is how like the combat is done in this game. So this character here just has a normal sword, which obviously has balanced speed and damage. It's the same for nearly every character. Obviously they don't have different moves like that. I mean, if you play as someone like Jean, she doesn't go flying through the air, but relatively the same attack speed. Or there's a few like little variations of it. So you get your basic attack string, and then you can do like strong attacks. So for Jean, she launches that enemy in the air. For Keqing, which I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce this character's name, she does like sort of a disappearing, strong, flinging attack. And then the other thing you get, which, sorry, I just need to try and progress through this with the that. So the other thing you get is I can't remember what the game actually calls them, but there's an attack you can do with one of the shoulder buttons. So for these always do elemental damage regardless of what character you're using. So for this character, she causes like this little diamond electrical thing to appear, and then you press it again, she teleports to it, which is pretty neat, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, obviously that causes electrical damage. And for Jean, she can charge up hers, and you can pick enemies up and fling them away. So I've only really been shown off 2 characters, but this character here, Amber, obviously she's got a bow. When you do a normal attack, she just sort of manually aims it. It's relatively low damage, but the thing about bow characters is they have like a guaranteed critical hit chance if you hit an enemy in the head. or weak points. There's things called ruin guards in this game. They're like giant mech things, and yeah, she can target their weak spot and they do absolutely ridiculous damage. I've seen a build for this character which can like two-shot those things, which is quite ridiculous. Oh, why is this thing still around? So I'm trying to get rid of these things. Yeah, so the enemies in this game called hillychurls as well. They're like little animaloid monster things. They're kind of like derpy. They're the ones you'll see the most often. I am not doing a good thing of showcasing like the combat in this game. That's always the thing. There's a difference between like playing things in your own time and like being semi-decent at it, and then doing this and looking like a right clown. So with this character as well, I should mention she's got a thing called Baron Bunny, which obviously does that. It taunts enemies. It's pretty good at like getting bosses to focus on that instead of you, and then it explodes and causes pyro damage. That's the thing in this game. They call all the elements something RO. So instead of it'd be like electro, cryo, hydro, pyro, animo, geo, dendro. Yeah, so it's not fire, water, and all that. Come on. Failed. Yeah, you can actually like chase little wildlife in this, and they turn into meat, which is pretty funny. Yeah, there we go. Killed whatever that was, some sort of little beast. Oh, we'll kill that squirrel. There we go. Just turned into a chunk of raw meat, which is pretty funny. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. There's other weapons in this game. So like this character here, she carries a thing called a catalyst, which is basically a book. Although some of them are like these little floating orbs. These characters are like wizards, and they always cause elemental damage regardless. So using them against an enemy of the same type is obviously a bit of a disadvantage. So the game has things like that where, obviously using different characters in different situations can obviously help you, but obviously a character that does pure elemental damage against a certain type is disadvantageous. So that's kind of the balancing of this game, I want to say. There's also characters that carry like great swords, which can break these ore repository things in 1 or 2 hits. So there is like open world mechanics and stuff that that the characters have. So for example, Amber as well, there's like these little plant things you can go up to, and it releases balloons, and obviously you have to shoot them in the air, like whatever, when they're floating around, and then it reveals like a hidden chest or something. So it has like its real open world mechanics in it, which I kind of like all that. Although some of it's done pretty weirdly. So this character here, Jean, she's got her element is animo, which is sort of a wind power. If you go up to certain flowers like dandelions, and do that attack, causing animo damage, it will spread them away, and then you can actually go and collect them. Which, if you don't have access to an animo character, you obviously can't do that. However, the main character in this game is animo, as well as geo, so it's got 2 of the elements to go and progress through the open world with. So it's kind of limiting in a way that you need to use that character in order to get, certain open world mechanics. Okay, I'll ignore that for the moment. I'll do a boss fight. So there are like these little raid things in the world as well. Like this here is a Pyro Regis Vine, which you can go and those are your possible rewards. You always get XP, you always get money, you always get companionship XP, and one of these first 4 items. Oh, you also get one of those as well. Those are vital for like leveling up your character to the next level and stuff. So we'll do it. I'll probably get my ass kicked because it'll be like level 90 and I only have like one character that can get up to 90, but I haven't done it yet. So, yes. So going into these boss fights, because they're pure elemental damage, obviously I'm not going to pick Amber if it's against another fire type thing. We'll go with another bow character. So this is Fischl von Lustosnofferdort, and I'm not joking there, that is her actual name. Well, not her actual name, because... Well, I suppose I better talk about it now. Before we get into the boss fight, there are like profiles on the characters, which obviously you can do all their voice lines, which is pretty cool. It actually tells you the voice actor as well, which is a feature I really, really like. So, you know, credit where credit's due. Some of the voice acting is pretty good in this game. There's a few instances with some of the characters where they're not exactly the best voices. But if you keep playing as the characters, you get something called character XP, which once that levels up, you gain more and more stuff about the characters. There are like little side stories with some of them in. Mona, this character here, is one of them. But that doesn't show like their full background. It says everything about the characters here, which is quite a lot for a free-to-play game. It tells you like most things about them. This is obviously what she does. She's like an astrologer, and it, you know, fair bit of story there. And all of them have something called a vision. So, like on her back there, it's got like the little water symbol by her neck. The elements in this game are done by things called visions, which are like blessings from the gods, or favours of the gods, or whatever you want to call them. And basically, it tells you the story of how each of the characters get theirs. Some of them are actually like quite heartbreaking, I want to say, or like heart-wrenching, I want to say, especially for like characters like Amber. You get like a bit of her, because she's one of the free-to-play characters and she's in the game from like when you begin it. You do get a bit of her backstory, but with the, you know, character story as it is, you learn more about her. It's like her granddad was a adventurer and he suddenly went missing, and because she didn't know where he was, that it kind of fell on her, like why to find out where he was. And most people were like, oh, he just abandoned us. So yeah, and that was just when she was like a little girl. And yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but yeah, it's quite interesting. And this character here, Kuching, she doesn't actually like the vision things, but her story is basically she learns to sort of live with it and use it for good. She doesn't believe that she should be using powers of the gods, because she doesn't like really. She's a bit of a skeptic about them, from what I remember. So yeah, some of the characters you meet in the main story, but what the newer characters they've added, they don't really. They're not really involved. Like Fischl isn't actually involved in the main story of the game at all. She was an event character that you could get for free by doing certain requirements, and her story is basically in that, along with although Mona was sort of featured in that as well. Yeah, I should mention this character as well. The thing about her is she's like a bit of a fraud. Like her name in the game is Fischl, but the more you learn about her name obviously isn't Fischl. It's just something she made up. Actually, she read it in a book, and her dad called her Princess de Vertelong, which is her title. And the thing is, she thinks she's like actual royalty, which is just a load of old shit. But it's kind of funny. It's also kind of heartwarming, because I think she was sort of left alone and to do her own devices, and then she became an adventurer. So yeah, I like that. I like that indeed. So one of the things you would have seen there is the elemental burst, which was a feature I didn't actually talk about earlier because I didn't need to use it. So each character has like a super move, which when you're fighting somebody and you cause elemental damage, it causes these like things the game calls elemental particles to appear, and if you get enough of those, it fills up like a little bar, and then you can do your big elemental attack. Some of them are pretty strong, some of them have like different applications. So obviously there's like offensive ones like this. For most 5-star characters it does a little cut in. If you're a 4-star character, it just doesn't do that. So I'm not showing off the full strength of them because I'm not able to. I'm really like underleveled for this. Other characters have like support abilities with them. So for Mona, she marks them. She astrologically marks them or something that causes additional damage on each enemy, which I kind of like. So it's not totally the same for everybody, and you probably would have seen earlier with Jean where she causes like that force field thing to appear. That does constant damage to enemies in it, as well as healing you and your party. Many times I've used Jean as my multiplayer character and just been like the healer. So yeah, she's pretty good. There's another depth to the characters as well. So most of this is having to show it to you via menus. So they have things called constellations, linking back into like the gacha mechanics as well. When you get a character, it either unlocks them, or if you already have the character, unlocks one of these. So obviously you can get the same character 7 times, and then that's it. So if you unlock them the second time, you unlock Gaze of the Deep, and then it unlocks a different like mechanic for the character. So even when Oz, which was the little raven, is not present, he can still watch over Fischl through his raven eyes. When Fischl performs a normal attack against an opponent, Oz fires a joint attack dealing damage equal to 22% of the attack. So that's pretty good. When Knight Rider is used, which is the which one is that? Is that when you summon him? I think it's called. Yeah, that's when you just summon him. So that is the R2 attack. Additional 200% attack damage, and area of effect is increased by 50%. Some of them are quite lame. 2 of them will always be leveling up your 2 elemental attacks by 3 levels. So it's kind of best to level them up as much as you can, and then when you have to waste resources to level them up later, you can just use that and it will automatically level up by 3. When Midnight Phantasmagoria is used, it deals 222% attack damage to electrode surrounding opponents, and you also regenerate 20% health. Extends Oz's duration. So some of it's pretty cool. So like for Mona, where is it? Yeah, so when you do a normal attack, there's a 20% chance it will be automatically followed by a charge attack. Well, that's kind of wrong because it just changes one of the attacks to a charge attack, which is pretty good. So obviously you have to unlock the characters extra times to get these. With 5-star characters, it's kind of difficult. I haven't maxed out any of those, but all the 4-star characters you get in such abundance that you'll easily unlock them all. Some of these are like really good. There's one in here which yeah, so this character you can do like a counter attack, and you can now absorb damage by unlocking this. So all these features are like really cool things which give an extra depth to the character, which I kind of like. Where is it? There's one which, oh no. Yeah, so for this one, with Amber, the character I showed earlier, you can, when you initially unlock her, you only get one of those Baron Bunny things, but if you unlock this, you get a second one, and also increase the cooldown by 20%, which is pretty good. Increase attack and movement speed by using her elemental burst where she fires the arrows up in the air. So that is like the extra depth of the characters. Like I said, with 5-star characters, it's kind of rubbishy because obviously you can't get their full potential without wasting like ridiculous amounts of money on them.
Now taking the stage.
Which for me, I'm not even going to tell you how much money I had to or like in-game rewards I had to use to get Jean. Like, it's an absolutely ridiculous amount. So this is one of the in-game things you can do as well. This unlocks a bunch of XP tome things for you to unlock. They're like blossoms of revelation or wealth or whatever. There's 2 different types in this game. They're like little bubbles. When you activate them, a bunch of enemies will come out like you're seeing now. You have to defeat all of them, and then like a little flower will appear out of the ground, and you can use the daily resource of resin to get rewards from it. So yeah, this is a 4-star character which I unlocked a while ago called Xinyan. She's pretty cool. She carries a great sword, which is one of the movesets I didn't actually show off earlier. So their attacks are like a lot slower, but also more powerful. And some of the characters just have their strong attack as like spinning around like that, which is pretty funny.
Delved into destiny.
Yeah. So now it's on screen. I've sort of showed off the elemental effects. Obviously, these do have different effects on each enemy you encounter. Like generic mooks like this crossbowman, obviously every element can affect them. However, if you do stuff like, you probably saw it there, it says overload. So if you combine certain elements, they cause an elemental reaction. And that's like the key to defeating some enemies in this game. There's a whole bunch of them. They do like bonus damage depending on the type, or they have like different effects. Well, I'm just trying to get out of this crossbowman's way. So obviously if you get somebody wet first and then you hit them with electro, it does a lot of damage. Electro-charged. There you go. Once you trigger an elemental reaction as well, it usually goes away straight away. So if you get them wet and then you electrocute them, it basically gets rid of both, which is kind of dumb. Yeah, so obviously you can like melt people by hitting them with a cryo attack and then setting them on fire, or you can vaporize them. That's the one between hydro and cryo, which is something. While it does deal damage either way, so if you set them on fire and then hit them with water, I think it does less damage than if you get them wet and then hit them with the fire. So it's got a whole bunch of different ones, and some of them are pretty cool. Obviously, if you do get somebody wet and then hit them with a cryo attack, it does actually freeze them in place for quite a while. That's like the only one that doesn't do significant damage, but obviously has a different a purpose of using it. Right, get rid of this giant hilly churl. Yeah, so 2 of the elements as well, kind of rare ones, I want to say. Well, not rare, but they're vastly different. So Animo, which is obviously the wind power, can combine with any element to get the same effect. It's called Swirl, which does damage in the area of effect. It's kind of hard to explain because the effect is over so sort of quickly, but it does bonus damage. And some attacks obviously based on wind, so one character can cause tornadoes, which is the main character you get. If that hits, say, fire, it will cause a fire tornado, and such, depending on the element it hits. Which I really like that. And then there's Geo, which can create shields depending on another element that hits it, and does slightly bonus damage to elemental types with obviously because it's like a rock element. I should mention as well, this character's here as well with the greatsword does bonus damage to like Geo. So it's always kind of interesting how they've got a dynamic of like choosing different weapons to like pick in your team. If you can actually get one, that is. Because I think the greatsword is like the only character type you don't get from the as a free character. Although I'm not sure if one of the characters, Noel, is still a free one. They were giving off a bunch of free ones when I first started playing the game, and this was like in September, I think. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'll now show you the. It's probably a good time to show this. And I can show you the domain challenges. Been going on half an hour and haven't really even touched the surface of this game. Like, as a free game, the amount of effort and like stuff there is to do in it is absolutely ridiculous. Right, actually I do need to just check this. Oh, so this is the current event. It's got like a bunch of different things you can do, like these are challenges to shoot down balloons using bow characters. That's a challenge where you use the glider, which I think I've shown, and you go and collect rewards, and then there's like little missions you can do. But I won't show that at the moment. I've got other things I need to do. So yeah, this is Dragon Spire. Is it Dragon Spine or Dragon Spire? I cannot remember. So, oh, it must be glitched. Oh, there we go. For some reason, it's because I was playing as this character. wasn't doing anything. So obviously, there's a health bar at the bottom, and now you see there's like a little blue bar, which when that fills up, I'll start to take damage from like, I don't know, attrition or something. And yeah, so that is the mechanic of this area. Obviously, you can like prevent taking this damage by going to a campfire. Now you'd think pyro characters are immune to this because obviously that's their, their whole deal. But no, but you can let them set fire to like lights and stuff, or you campfires and like lights, and if you go near them or stand near them, it'll just get rid of it. So yeah, getting up here is like the biggest pain in the ass in this area. It's such a long climb. Yeah, so if you stand near these things, they go away. But you can. Is it going to let me do it? No. Oh, there we go. So yeah, obviously we've disabled that, and now we've set it on fire again. So yeah, this is probably one of my favourite areas in the game, although I don't actually go here that often because there's not much to do. Once you like sort of get all the treasures in some places, it kind of loses some of its charm in trying to obtain everything or explore the area, is what I meant to say. Obviously you can climb in this game. It's not like Breath of the Wild where if it's raining, which is a random effect that can happen, you fall down, because that is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So yeah, the open world has like instances where you can use the glider as well, which is pretty good. So I'll show what you can do to some enemies in this game. So you pick them all up like that, and then you just send them off the cliff. It's something I do quite often. There we go. Sometimes they respawn depending on where they land, but most of the time you can like instant kill them. Yeah, see that guy just respawned. Fuck off. Is he dead? Oh no. Oh, they keep respawning. Obviously it doesn't want me to kill these clowns. Yeah, there was another element I was meant to talk about, the combat as well. Oh yeah, so I forgot to mention this earlier. With like the charge attack, obviously this is one. It uses stamina, which you obviously have to use to get through the real world. You can use it to like sprint. Gliding causes stamina as well, which I don't really I kind of understand, but it also sort of doesn't make sense. But from a gameplay standpoint, yeah, obviously it's to prevent you from going to like a little area near the start, because you have to use your glider to get over there. So yeah, using a charge attack uses stamina. The only characters that are immune to that is bow characters, because obviously their charged attack is just the one way you can aim it, which kind of makes sense. So everybody else uses stamina on a charge attack. So not as in depth as like something like Dark Souls, where every attack is a calculated thing which you have to look out for. Right, let's go all the way to the top. Where's the... oh, there it is. Kind of difficult to see. Yeah, so some of the areas are quite in-depth on like where you can explore. Like going all the way up here. You can climb that. I've done it before. So yeah, climbing obviously causes stamina, and if you obviously lose it, you just fall straight down. You do take damage from falling, which obviously you don't want to do, although you can mitigate some of it by just doing a charge attack on the whilst falling. I mean, I think there's an achievement to hit an enemy or kill an enemy by falling for 5 seconds and just landing on them. Some of this as well is kind of derpy when you go and climb. Highly dangerous. Yeah, just before you land, if you do that, it's oh look, I'm not going to die. So if you're running out of like stamina and you're falling, just let yourself fall like that, and just before you hit the ground, bring up your glider and you won't die. Kind of cheeky in a way. So we'll do the Peak of Vandegrift. So there's a whole bunch of these things the game calls domains. They're places where you can unlock... so these are like accessories you can equip for each character, which obviously I'll get into in a minute, and then I'll wrap up the video. What character don't I need? Right, we'll replace her with...
let's make haste.
Ning Wong. She was one of the characters I had in my party for ages until I unlocked Jean. So, yeah, there's multiple domains you can unlock. So for this one, you unlock accessories of a certain type, so they're all ones which cause like bonus ice damage or whatever. But there's also areas which you can unlock materials for upgrading weapons, upgrading the character's skills, and all stuff like that. They all cost the resin thing as well, so you can only do them a couple of times a day. Come on. I don't know why I picked a Geo character, because you don't actually need it here. But all of them have their own like little gimmick, these domain things. So for this one, it's got the same mechanics as the area around it, with the sheer cold mechanic, where you take damage if you cold for too long. But others have like you don't get as many elemental particles or stuff like that, or it constantly causes you hydro damage, which drains your elemental skills and stuff like that. Like these domains are probably my least favourite part of the game, because they're like really, really repetitive. So tend not to do them that much, because some of the things you can get from them, you can just get from like battling the bosses in the open world, or when they have an event, they'll just let you buy them. So, oh yeah, I should mention in this area as well that these like giant hilly churls, they well, in the whole game the hilly churl things carry shields, but in this area they've got ice shields, which obviously you have to melt, and if they're in an area of the sheer cold, it will regenerate, which is actually really fucking annoying. So yeah, I kind of like that you that you have to do that. There's like variations of the enemies depending on the area they're in. And the second area while I did that balloon thing is a place called Liyue, which is based on like China, but their whole thing is like the rock element. And these enemies, well, those enemies with the shields there, they carry like rock shields instead, as opposed to, you know, in the first area of the game where they just carry wooden ones which you can set on fire. Yeah, that's what I hate about this challenge. It's like, stand in the heated floor space to regain, to not, you know, die of the sheer cold thing, and yet it's not actually giving me one. Because it fucking hates me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so obviously standing on here will regen my health. Die, bitch! Yeah, it's very generous with the amount of time it takes, the amount of time it allows you to complete these things as well. Come on, just fucking die. Yeah, some of the enemies in this area are pretty bloody tough as well. Doesn't help these stupid little mages go around. They always make that stupid noise, which really annoys me. Especially if they just keep some of the variants of these little wizards. They cause you to like go in these little water bubbles, which is the most annoying thing on the planet. So yeah, many a time they've sent me into a rage because they're just annoying. Abyss mages, that's what they're called. There we go. So whenever you complete the challenge, you can do one of two things. You can use original resin, which is the number in the top corner, or you can use condensed resin, which is a material you can make like the alchemy bench. Yeah, I mean, I've been going on for nearly an hour and I haven't really even like scratched the surface. So using, what do we use? Yeah, condensed resin gets you better items, whereas if I just used normal stuff, I wouldn't have got as good stuff. So yeah, that is like the gist of this game. Can't really show you any story missions or anything like that, but yeah, the story's pretty good. It's got voice actors most people would know. Pretty sure most people know. I can't even remember her name now. Erika Harlacher, or is that her name? She voices Arn in Persona 5 and Ami Kawashima in Toradora. Yeah, she voices like a few characters in this game, but as men, which is really weird. So yeah, it's got like really good voice acting as well. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I will do a full review sometime. I'm working on it. I'm trying to refine it, as it were, and I'm just waiting for the new area of the game to appear. I might do some more videos on this because I really enjoy the game. I'm not an expert in it by any means, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. I mean, I couldn't even go over the accessory system, so I will quickly go over that before I go. So they're called artifacts, and each character can equip 5. If you pick 2 of the same set, so this set is called Sands of Eon. No, it's not. No, sorry, this set is called the Gladiator's Finale. So if I pick 2 of those, I get the first bonus, which is plus 18 attack across all things. And then if I equip 4 of the same thing, if the character of this artifact set uses a sword, claymore, or polearm, it increases their normal attack damage by 35%. And then there's like other bonuses. If I equip the Noblesse Oblige set, elemental burst damage 20%, increases all party attack members attack by 20%. So there's all these different effects like Berserker. Some of the effects don't actually have like a top tier variant of them, which is kind of lame. Defender's Will, yeah. So yeah, there's got all these different artifacts which are pretty cool. I usually try and equip 4 of the same thing to get like really good bonuses, but yeah, I don't really have the time or energy to go that in depth with like trying to perfect each character and level them up. Because some of these, all the bonuses you get from these are varied. So, for example, this one, its main attribute is plus attack, but that one is like plus defense instead. And then obviously the bonuses above is like attack plus 14, health, but health 4.1% extra, and then elemental mastery. Whereas that one's got like plus 21 defense and crit rate percentages. So yeah, it's difficult to get some of the best ones because they're all randomized. So yeah, that's about it for the moment, I think. Yeah, I'll probably do another video on this at some point, but I've already sort of spent enough time. Also, there's a camera mode in this game. And achievements. Yes. That's what I should mention, the gambling mechanic. So when you unlock some of these as well, you get those sort things are called primogems, which you can use to unlock the characters. I'd quickly just show off the photo mode. So obviously there's a photo mode in this game because obviously... Can I get her to look at the camera? Yeah, look at the camera. Hide character. No. Thinking. Boom. Yeah, we'll save that. Save to your device. Anyway, so you obviously the gambling mechanics. You get things called wishes, which are the little symbol in the top corner. I'll just show it off. We'll spend 10. So every 160 primogems you can buy a wish, as it were, and you unlock, weapons like this. It allows you to do it one at a time or 10 in one go. So most of the stuff you unlock is 3-star stuff, but with every 10 wish thing you get a guaranteed 4 or 5-star item. So there we go. We got the sacrificial fragments, which is pretty bad. I never use it. So that is the gambling mechanics. You unlock most of the stuff you unlock in this game are weapons. The game is actually quite transparent with the percentages of getting each character. So it's got all this. Some of it's quite unfair, although I've been fairly lucky with the amount, the characters I've unlocked. It's 5-star item chance, 0.6%. Yeah, so that's all the stuff you can unlock. So these primogems as well you unlock in the game. The game's fairly generous with how many it gives out. Every commission you do a day nets you a few of those as well as a bonus if you complete all 4. And yeah, so obviously you can convert these to... you can spend this to get the primogems as well, which is real life money. I don't know why they have to have 4 or 5 different currencies. So you can use those primogems to just outright buy these. Buy 10 of those. We'll do it again. So if you just hoard them and then spend them on an event you actually want to try and get a character you want. Also, I can skip this. There we go. We've got a character, which I already had. So when you get a character and you've filled up their constellation as well, you get... I'm trying to think what they're called now. Oh, it didn't actually tell me. You get things called star glitter, which you can use to buy wishes again. Or if you get enough of them, you can just spend them on materials for the game. So I didn't do the best job explaining that. It's kind of difficult because they have 200 different currencies, which is really stupid. So yeah, there we go. That is the gist of the game. I'm really in love with the game. It is... When I first started playing the game, it was really predatory with the sort of gambling and gacha mechanics, but they have actually eased off a little bit. I mean, every time you level up every 2 times you ascend your character to another level or another phase or whatever you want to call it, it does actually give you free wishes, which didn't used to be a thing. So there is actually a benefit of leveling up the current characters you have. So yeah, I'm happy with this game. It's free, so you can go and play it as much as you want. Obviously, if you want to avoid the gacha mechanics, you are able to do it. You can complete the game with the 4-star characters, and that's certainly what I did for most of it. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching if you did, and I'll see you with an equally bad and poorly thought out video at some point in the future.